Welcome to video 3 of our College Preparedness Workshop video series. In this video, we're going to pick up right where we left off in video 2 and finish discussing the 5 steps of the study cycle. Let's go ahead and get started. If you recall in our last video, we had just finished up going over the 3rd step of the study cycle, which is reviewing. Now, the 4th step of the study cycle is studying. This, of course, as you probably have already guessed, is where you engage in the act of studying new course material or your notes that you've previously taken. At the heart of this study cycle step are what we call intense study sessions. This is actually a formula that you can follow to ensure that you are properly studying every time. Whenever you study, make sure you spend a minute or two to first set a goal for yourself. Your goal could be something like, I really want to understand what this is when I'm done studying today. Or, by the time I'm done studying today, I want to know why that is relevant. Then, once you have that goal in mind, you want to study with focus for a predetermined amount of time. Studying with focus means to interact with the material you are going over. Reorganize the information in your head and see if you can think of analogies that you could use to teach that material to someone else. Create timelines, mind or concept maps, or flashcards for yourself. There are numerous metacognitive learning strategies you can employ to your advantage during this time. Once that predetermined amount of time for studying with focus is up, you next need to reward yourself with something you enjoy or find relaxing for a bit. Set yourself a timer for, say, 15 minutes of watching some Netflix shows, or to call a friend, or to grab a bite to eat, or even to take a quick nap. The idea here is to purposefully remove yourself from the material you are studying and let your mind think of other things. But when that timer goes off, indicating that your reward time is over, don't skip the last step of the intense study session. And that is to return to that material for just a few minutes and review everything you had been studying prior to your break. The great thing about an intense study session is that the time frames for each of the 4 steps is flexible. What should not be flexible are the steps themselves. Don't skip any of these phases of your study time. Each step has a purpose, and if you stick to them, you will likely begin to reap the benefits from your dedication sooner rather than later. The 5th and final step of the study cycle is to assess. This is where you want to assess just how well you have been learning the material you have been studying. One thing you could assess is if you are having difficulty concentrating because your study sessions are perhaps too long for you, then consider trying shorter, more frequent intense study sessions. You could also evaluate yourself and determine if you need to tweak or adjust any of the metacognitive learning strategies you are using during your intense study sessions, or if you need to try some different metacognitive learning strategies altogether. The key here is to not give up on the rigid process of the study cycle steps or the steps of your intense study sessions. This concludes the study planning highlights portion of this workshop. If you are interested in learning more on this topic, including a comprehensive list of metacognitive learning strategies and how they work, please check out the in-depth full version of our study planning workshop video series. To continue on and learn some highlights on the subjects of time management, note-taking, and test-taking strategies, please go now to video 4 of our College Preparedness Workshop video series.